The emotional collapse of Kizzy in episode 6, Below Deck Med, wasn't just drama. It was the calculated result of a 6-episode character assassination. What you saw wasn't a simple, sad phone call. You were watching the payoff of a meticulously crafted production narrative. In this analysis, we are breaking down the Kizzy problem. But it's not her problem, it's a production problem. I'm going to show you, frame by frame, how Below Deck Mediterranean producers have been building a villain edit, or perhaps more accurately, an annoying edit, from the very first episode. We'll examine how they've isolated specific behaviors, used audience perception from forums like Reddit as a data point, and ignored crucial context to shape a narrative. By the end of this video, you won't see that phone call as a simple breakup. You'll see it as the manufactured climax of a seasonal hit job. This is the anatomy of a production takedown. To understand what happened in episode 6, we have to go back to episode 1. Production needs storylines, and the fastest way to create one is to flatten a character. This means taking one aspect of their personality and making it their entire personality. For Kizzy, the producers chose the flirt. From the moment she stepped on board, the edit has relentlessly, almost obsessively, focused on her interactions with male deckhands, and most importantly, the male charter guests. Look at the discussion threads on platforms like Reddit following episode 5. The audience was already primed. Words like aggressively flirty, lacking charm, and desperate were dominating the conversation before the breakup even happened. This is not an accident. This is the edit working. The show presented these flirty moments without nuance, and often without invitation. But the most important tool they used wasn't just showing her actions, it was showing us the reactions. This is editing 101. The edit tells you how to feel. We see Kizzy make a joke, and instead of showing a neutral reaction, the camera will immediately cut to another crew member rolling their eyes, or a guest looking uncomfortable, or just dead, awkward silence. These reaction shots are the invisible narrator. They are the production's whisper in your ear saying, "See, she's annoying. You're supposed to be cringing right now." This brings us to the second, more damaging layer of the edit, the need for male attention. The show has selectively included only the moments where Kizzy is perceived to be seeking validation from men. We have to ask the critical question, are these the only conversations she had? Or are these the only ones that aired? A production team captures hundreds of hours of footage. They see the good, the bad, and the neutral. They saw her working, her moments of competence, her non-dramatic interactions, and they chose to put those on the cutting room floor. Why? Because a complex, nuanced human being is not a good character. A one-dimensional attention seeker is. This curated narrative creates an unreliable narrator. The audience has now been trained over 5 full episodes not to trust her motives. If she's performative when she's flirting, as the edit suggests, then the audience's logic will naturally follow that she must be performative when she's crying. And that is exactly what happened. This brings us to the climax, episode 6, the phone call. On paper, this is one of the most relatable, human moments in the franchise. Receiving devastating personal news, trapped at work, and surrounded by cameras. This should have been a moment of pure, raw empathy. But the edit sabotaged it. Because we, the audience, have spent 5 weeks being shown that Kizzy is performative and desperate, her genuine emotional distress is filtered through that pre-built lens. Watch the sequence again. Notice the isolation. Notice how the cameras linger almost uncomfortably. It's shot not for empathy, but for spectacle. The focus isn't on her pain. It's on the performance of her pain. The audience reaction was immediate and predictable. The online discussion wasn't, "I feel so bad for her." It was, "This is all for show. She's being so dramatic." And "This feels performative." Production achieved its goal. They didn't just capture drama, they created a specific negative interpretation of it. They weaponized her real-life trauma against her character to create a payoff for the annoying narrative they had been building all season. So, is Kizzy actually the annoying crewmate? It doesn't matter. What matters is that production wants you to think she is. The evidence points to a deliberate narrative construction. They built a box, and her very real emotional moment was forced to fit inside it. This changes everything for the rest of season 10. Kizzy is now locked in as the unstable or desperate element. Every future conflict, every professional mistake, every relationship issue will now be viewed through this very specific, very negative lens that production has spent 6 episodes building. She's no longer a person. She's a plot device. That's the breakdown. But the final verdict is yours. What key piece of evidence did I miss? Leave your theory below. Subscribe to Beyond the Take so you're ready for the next case.